Ah,
After an hour or so of figuring some shit out, we're finally here.
got it ducked off.
So yeah, I think this is gonna be like the best opportunity to really figure out like our what do you call it, ergonomic vibe with the
ergonomic setup.
yeah,
Yep,
with
yep,
the setup.
yep.
And then of course,
You
if
know
the
what we
angles
should
work-
do?
What?
We should mark the fucking
Oh,
spots where the camera, where the
that's a good
tripods
ass
are and
catch
everything.
because then we don't have to. Well, we can mark it, but I honestly think too, like because when people film their things, it's not exactly the same every single time. Is it? Is that something you pay attention to?
Yeah, but just so we don't have to like
They rethink the shit.
exactly like we just know
That's a good
exactly
call.
where to put them.
That is a good call. This one's probably gonna be the hardest to figure the fuck out though. I'll
Yeah.
leave that for you.
That's exactly why I was like, that's why I went through the closet and through the bathroom when
Yeah.
I set it up the first time. I was like, I'm not
That's
even
a
trying
beast of a fucking tripod.
I'm not even trying to graze that thing.
Yeah, I think we should do that now. Actually, before we forget, we are fucking live. Let's go. I thought about that too. I've been listening to some like intro theme music, and it'd be just so generic. We just gotta find. I would say like a culturally. Yeah, I don't know, man. Honestly, I'm just gonna
about the theme music.
I thought about it like literally just yesterday. I was listening to my boy Brandon's podcast, and I noticed he had theme music in the front of his. I don't know if all podcasts do. Some have like their own theme song and shit like that. That's why I kind of want us to do the Rick and like a Rick and Morty chaotic type of intro with the cartoon, like a 10-second clip. That way, it's like almost like an actual show.
Right. No, that's definitely the idea.
Yeah.
That's definitely the
so
idea.
it's almost like that Twilight Zone, weird ass like music. So I think at some point we can probably find some non-copywritten or figure out somebody that can make some like trance music like that.
I'm trying to think if I know anyone.
Yeah, that's a future state vibe. For now, we could just look for some non-copywritten shit and just throw it past.
Hey, you remember that app that came out? Or I'm not sure if it was an app, but it was some software, some platform where you could buy portions of a song, like a stock, and earn royalties on it depending on how well it does.
NFTs and shit like that are like that now. Like Russell's done that before, where you can buy a portion of his masters, or I think it's how he set it up.
But it was
his
a platform you can go on.
But I don't know about. I've never heard of that.
Never heard of it?
Hell no.
I went
that
on
sounds pretty raw though. It's almost like you.
It's a stock market for songs.
Yeah.
Right. So it's
so
like
the NFT that's kind of like what NFTs are for like certain people that do it in the music industry. I think Tory Lanez dropped his album like that, and then so did La Russell. I think his name's La Russell.
You talking about the who is
rapper?
It?
He's a rapper.
Is it who is it though?
He's
It's not Russ, right?
No, not Russ.
Okay.
Not the short white dude. It's a short black dude.
Oh, okay.
But he's pretty
solid.
dope. He's big. Yeah, he's a big artist right now. Are blowing up at the same time. So he dropped his album like NFT, so people could buy. Had to go through that platform. I'm not sure if that's similar or what, but I don't even know how you can execute that. Honestly, that's on like a.
I don't know how they executed it either, but I went on there and I was. Man, I need to find that app again because honestly, it was.
You can probably just Google it.
I'll have to Google it, and I'm not even sure it's active anymore. I'll be honest. I haven't heard anything about it. I heard about it the first time. I heard about it the first time, and I jumped on it, and I was just kind of playing around with it and seeing just to see what songs are on there.
Yeah,
and they had a catalog.
It borderline seems unachievable because so many different record labels have probably different terms and shit like that to be able to get on that platform. It's almost unachievable because if you think about it too, like TikTok just lost like Universal's entire catalog because they didn't come to terms and shit. So I don't know how achievable that shit would be to have like a stock.
Because I think I think the songs that were on there were owned by the artists.
Oh,
I think they had their masters.
Oh,
I think they own their master. At least that's what I think.
and they were.
I may
flipping
have been
them.
associated with Tidal.
Is Tidal still the app?
I don't know, but it may have been. I think it was associated with Tidal, is how I heard about
I
it.
wonder
'cause
if Tidal was actually successful.
Tidal wasn't bad, honestly.
I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just wondering if it was successful because I know he sold it, but I don't know if it actually.
Yeah, he probably
sold it,
and he
to
probably
recapture his money
melted
back.
into another company.
Yeah,
It was absorbed by another company.
because they tried to push for that, but artists were not jumping on board with it. Because I think Lil Wayne exclusively dropped his album on Tidal.
I know a few artists did.
Yeah, but
Couple
it's
artists
still
did.
it took so long to come out with the album that people really weren't excited about.
And we're
as they
talking
were.
about late stage Lil Wayne too. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like he was like, it wasn't like
It was
somebody
that
like
it was
Drake.
that 4-year period where we were expecting to follow through. When he was still hype, he was still top of the game, but then it didn't follow through because of that lawsuit with
Yeah, because you know what? This was around like 2014 when Tidal dropped.
So 2015 was when I think he was supposed to drop that album, and it just took
I get nothing but good feelings when I think about 2014.
that's solid. Why is that?
Man, because I was, it's so funny because now I'm back in Texas, right?
Mhm.
And 2014, I was in Texas again. So it's been like a decade. Whoa, exactly. It's been a decade. Because I got to Texas January 2014 when I first moved to College Station before I bought my store.
Wow,
It's been a solid decade.
of just establishing a business and got that shit just kind of
Bro,
on its own autonomous
crazy.
level. That's lit, bro. That's
Oh,
lit.
that is lit. That is lit because that was right before like my big takeoff. I got to Texas January of 2014, and then no, excuse me, it wasn't January of 2014. It was January of 2015 because I got my store in 2015. I was only in Texas for 9 months or 10 months.
So, it was
So
within that same
we're right
frame.
at we're right at 9 years.
You on
But still, like that year that when I got to Texas, like I was by myself. I was living there by myself in an apartment in College Station. I was going through I just went through a breakup.
this was after you stopped playing football, right?
Yeah, this is long after I stopped playing ball.
Oh, this is where you were kind of just finding the purpose.
This is when the period you talk about, bro. Where did you go? You disappeared,
Yeah.
and this was the middle of it. This was the thick of my disappearance, bro. Where I was in Texas by myself. I only had like a couple friends because I didn't go out.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do anything. The only thing I was doing was working, saving my money.
Where were you working at?
I was working at another Brown Shoe Fit in College Station.
Oh, that's where you became.
Yeah, I was finishing my training.
Became the manager, and then you kind of wanted to buy your own. Or did you? Were you still an employee when you bought?
Yes.
Oh shit.
So that's how it works.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So you don't just it's not like you call them up one day and you show you have enough personal funds and net worth to buy into the franchise.
Uh-huh.
You have to go through the program. You have to be an employee. So I was an employee, and then I got on what we call the management trainee program, and I was out of 25 of us, 25 or 30. I was like the number 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
I got the highest test score that you can get. I got one of the highest test scores ever on that little test that they give us.
Almost like the LSAT or some shit.
Something like that. Yeah. Just to test your proficiency. And, I was working at the store I own now, and they moved me to College Station, which at the time it was, one of our best stores, still is. And, I trained there I finished my training there. It took me 10 months, and then I moved back to Muskogee. So I was just knee deep in the grind at that point.
Oh yeah, that was the beginning of the funnel for you. Your tunnel vision was established at that point. Then I didn't hear from you for like a good 4 years, I want to say.
On and off. I mean, we chatted every now and then, but it wasn't consistent.
It was very rare. It was because it was a 4-year period. I think it was very rare communication, but we had tapped in, but it was no love loss situation. It was just
Not at all.
like when you duck off, is there's some reasoning behind it. So once you follow back up,
yeah, looking back, that was a mistake though.
You can't really claim it as a mistake if you got on the other end of it, because it might
I got
not
on
have played out.
I got on the other end of it, but I didn't you know what I'm saying? Our relationship could have been closer. I could have been closer to Mike before he passed. I could have been closer to a lot
That's
of
probably
people.
one of the first times I heard from you in a while too, was when you called me about that shit.
Yep.
I remember that because I was in the living room of my apartment at the time. I was living with Aunt. And
were you in Utah still?
No, I was in Cali at this point.
Back in Cali?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was in the Bay Area. I just moved out
Oh,
there.
you were in the Bay
year
at that
before
time.
that.
Okay.
I
didn't know you were in
like
the
I
Bay
think
at
I
that time.
just moved out there the year before that, and maybe the year before, and I just remember like you just randomly hit me up, and I'm like, what the fuck? It was just like a shocking moment. Then that's when I seen you again because we went to the funeral.
Yep.
And then man, that was a tough period too, because
That was weird, man.
very, very, very weird. But on serious notes, we're trying to get used to working with the.
You mean on a lighter note? on a much lighter note. Yeah.
To get off a serious note.
So let me practice the welcome to the Humanity's Last Hope podcast. Damn, how are we gonna say that? How's that gonna be the intro?
So I would say we always want to say the podcast. We can say welcome to Humanity's Last Hope. And podcast just kind of labels us as a podcast. I notice a lot of people do the same thing too, just because it distinguishes it between like just maybe some movement, like, because we always want to be a movement, but it distinguishes us. I guess it's like, hey, you're tuning into a podcast, and somebody might already have Humanity's Last Hope doing something else. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure I didn't make that up. It's just been.
You didn't make it up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty
known type of.
It's a pretty known saying, but I don't think anyone's doing these.
I hope not, because we need that Instagram or that social channels too.
Yeah.
But I was telling you that we got to probably create those after this.
Yeah.
We could do it after.
Well, I was gonna say, well, yeah, we're sold up. Anyway.
Yeah, we're locked in. So it's I don't know. I would say just how you did it, bro. Honestly.
All right.
Yeah, because we could keep it light, keep it
welcome
quick.
To Humanity's Last Hope.
Yeah, welcome to a podcast. You guys said just how you did it before. Welcome to the Humanity's Last Hope podcast, or just Humanity's Last Hope podcast.
Welcome to Humanity's Last Hope podcast.
I didn't even think about intros, bro, because we do have to give an intro and then like almost an outro.
We gotta structure it. But what we discussed was we weren't gonna keep it super rigid. Like we'll have an intro where we'll obviously, we'll kind of like lay the foundation for the episode, and then we'll just go from there.
Yeah,
keep it continuous. And
for us, the foundation is always going to be like, it's just a conversation. We're gonna see this is where we're gonna start. We're gonna see where it goes, right. And then we might be able to do like maybe one of our episodes. The starting one is like an intro of what, like, introducing like kind of what we're trying to deliver, what we want to go about. But we don't have to be too like you said, like, oh, let's explain to you in detail what this is about. Like, I think people will get the gist of it over the time.
Yeah, I think they will too. So yeah, and kind of running with the theme of pretty much everything we're doing right now is, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're keeping the stakes low.
Stakes low as fuck.
So like, we're building momentum with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
because ultimately this is going to be and this is how we can really present it. Ultimately, this is going to be our method of release. You know what I'm saying? Get things off our chest, have good conversation. It's always been a good vibe, that type of thing. This can be our like therapeutic period. And I got further in the book, the creator book, and really understanding that like the opportunity of like how we like go about it is really going to be the art itself. You know what I mean? Like every little thing doesn't have to be kind of figured out at this point in time. And I think us kind of leaving it to be unknown almost, in a sense of how we're going to go about what we're talking about, is going to get raw. It's be raw as we possibly can have it.
Yep. Right.
And like you said, we have to figure out how to unstructure our structure, because when we have no structure in certain aspects of this free form, we do really, really well.
Yeah, we do well. Right.
So I would say the only thing we probably have to look out for is kind of like how we start off.
Okay.
So because
I agree. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Right. We just need to like.
So I say with that, we probably can make sure we bring energy.
Right.
The energy that we want to put over that episode of that show, and really kind of just be as blunt and as quick about that, because roundabout conversation about getting over on a topic isn't gonna retain people. We just, hey, this is what we got going, and I think this is gonna be a good episode.
Right.
That type of shit.
Right.
And then the only thing I think we probably, like I was saying, like we need to structure is just introduction of the podcast name, and then tap in with us. Go ahead, smash the like, subscribe, leave us a review, feedback. We need all that.
Yeah.
And then just
connect with us on social.
Yep.
Here's our handles. Da 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 da.
Nah, we don't have to do that because I say the social usually comes at the end. That way we're not.
That's what I was talking about at the end.
No. I'm talking about at the beginning.
Oh,
so
the
at the beginning,
beginning?
you
Oh, okay,
introduce the
I got you.
podcast name, and then from there we'll go ahead and smash the like. Follow us on whatever platform you're listening on.
Yeah.
And then drop.
And we
a
can
review.
research them and use whatever.
No, that's what it is. So like usually the intros, I've done a lot of research because I listen to a lot of them, and usually the first thing they introduce is the name. Like welcome back to those that are new. I'm Aaron. I'm introduce our names, the name of the podcast, and just the call to action to follow, and they'll leave a review, and then they get into the podcast, the episode, and then at the end of it. You know what I'm saying? If y'all want to follow us on, social platforms, keep up with us. This is where you can tap in with us.
Cool.
It's at the end, and that's gonna be closing. We could just leave it that, and then freeform it. As far as what we have to say.
All right, that works.
Yeah, because I think when we do the freeform too, it works better. When we try to let's figure out what we're gonna say. Like, for example, we did the consistency video the other day. The first one was the hardest one.
Yeah.
Because it came out just raw. It was just longer than the second one, but the second one was like trash. We didn't even need to do a second one. It was like, why even try it?
Yeah, I think there does need to be a little bit of structure to it. Otherwise, it's just like
Slight.
Kind of have to keep the viewer in mind too, because if somebody comes across our video and our topic is about butter knives, but we only talk about the topic maybe, for 2 minutes. And then,
I don't think we'll have to worry about that.
Obviously that's not a great example, but you know what I'm saying?
No, I get you.
Some people are going to be like, oh, well, because we will talk about it.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say to that was people should come to know, right, that, and maybe we can make this part of the introduction for a little bit, just for a couple videos. That way people can kind of understand, like, look, we're going to start talking about one thing, but we're not going to end up talking about that same thing more than likely.
Yeah. This is about us.
This is about a discussion. And if you guys just want to listen in and listen to two guys have a chat and, where we're synthesizing original ideas and thoughts in real time, then this is the one for you. But
we could go as far as short as saying, hey, if you guys want a real conversation, this is what it's going to look like.
We're just going to have a real, exactly, right?
Like this is going to be a real, this isn't scripted. This isn't something that we go in planning out. It's just something that we want to talk about. It's a topic that we want to touch on, but who's to say we don't go somewhere else with it?
Exactly.
Boom.
Exactly.
And to be honest with you, I don't think we even ever really truly get far off the topics we talk about. Usually we stay within the realm of whatever the topic is. It's just different aspects that we never thought about around the topic.
Agreed.
Like when we have a few of our situations where you forced, like for example, we were talking about humanity's like last hope esque things before we came up with the name that same day, and it was all around the same shit. For example, when you said like let's come up with the name today,
mm-hmm.
and you put it on us to like let's do it right now,
mm-hmm.
like that whole conversation the whole day was about that type of shit, like being our best selves, showing up, overcoming mental blocks, things like that. All of that shit is what created that thought to say humanity's last hope after that. So it was all around the same topic. It was just different things that involved it. So I think we should be fine for the most part. And if we ever get off like too off topic, we just reel each other back in those cases.
That's interesting you say that because, yeah, that's how our conversations go. Like, like if you picture it as us like on the road, right? In a vehicle going down the road, we're passing scenery and we're gathering like, oh, there's a tree, there's a bush, there's a goat, it's everything that is supporting like the journey to the destination, which is clarity.
That was a good one.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we
We-
learned a little something here.
We're almost
On the
on
way.
this, yeah, on it, and it's almost like an Inception vibe. Every level or layer
Right.
gets more
Supports the
complex,
last.
but it supports the last.
Right.
It just gives you more understanding of us.
Right. So
in
it's
depth.
important for you guys
To
to
keep,
start at the
yeah.
beginning.
Yes.
Like, don't come in
Don't
here and
cut
like
it up.
halfway through, because you're gonna be like, what are these guys talking about? You got to be able to flow with us. You got to start at the beginning of the episode and watch it all the way through. And I think,
How did they get to this shit? Like, how did they get
right,
to
like,
that
what the hell are
topic?
they
What the-
talking about now? They're like, you know what I'm saying? And so, and you know, I have to reiterate this because, you know, in order for us to have deeper discussions, in order for us to go to places, you know, in order for us to kind of stretch our minds,
Uncover some new shit.
uncover some new shit, we have to continuously learn and grow. At least for me, I know for my part in this,
Mhm.
I know that as long as I can, like, my main goal just in life really is just to learn as much as I possibly can and to implement it. And so, you know, that's going to be kind of like that'll be my commitment to the podcast is, okay, I'm going to make sure that I bring fresh, new insight and information and perspective, and, you know, in pursuit of my goals, which is, you know, ultimately to be to move past all the limitations that we place upon ourselves and to realize that, you know, like, I came across something the other day, and it was a video of Sadhguru, and he was talking about, you know, enlightenment means from a garden you become a forest. One of my favorite things that he's ever said. And so it's like, yeah,
You transcend what it was to be seeds, dirt,
right,
like flowers, now to like broad, expansive trees and stuff like that. And that's really what this excites me about too, because I feel the conversations will like evolve
yep,
as like right in front of us type of thing. And I think that's what's going to be the uniqueness about us, because we're not coming from like a position that we're more enlightened than somebody else. We're not coming from a position where we know more than somebody else. We're coming from an I perspective, and we're only concerned about it if we personally or individually found what we were seeking. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
The audience is along for the ride.
Mm-hmm.
To tune in, to catch something if they think is a gem in there, But overall, it's really, and this is why I'm like super juiced, because this is gonna help me understand myself better, you better, and then grow. You know what I'm saying? Because once you know new things, you can't unlearn that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it puts that
I mean, you can forget, but
you can't unlearn it though.
you can't unlearn it.
Because what's gonna happen is something's gonna come up, and you're gonna be like, damn,
it'll come right back to you.
It'll come right back. Like, damn, I knew I shouldn't have did that because X, Y, and Z, right? So, but it also gives you that requirement of like, now, you know, so you have to go moving forward, that somebody told you, or somebody, you've unlocked something in you. So there's no more of an excuse of like, damn, I wasn't aware. That's like stepping into real estate. And then like most people don't jump in because it's fear of like the unknowns, right? But once you know what the other side looks like, now what's the excuse? Like, oh, like, okay, well, can I move in that realm? I'm gonna keep going. The same thing with space and all this other shit. Like, we explore shit as we know. Somebody's taking the risk, but then people following behind it are really just kind of going off what they've traversed and traveled. And for us, it's gonna be a introspective journey for us, and then it's gonna be good to look back at it. You know what I'm saying? As we get older as well, to see like where we started and where we're at now.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things I'm most excited is to, you know, once we get a few of these under our belt, a couple years from now, and just Man, let's take a look. Let's listen to our first episode. Compare it to now.
Ah,
We're gonna be like,
first
what
episode
the
video,
hell? How do we
what
even
the
make it?
I was doing what? I was wearing what?
How do we even make it? Like, how is this
Bruh.
even? You know what I'm saying? Why are
Yeah,
why would
everybody
people
looks back at
listening?
the photos from high school and shit like, damn, I was wearing baggy. Like my shit was 5X. Now we're wearing baggy again.
Bro, I know.
3 years,
2 decades.
like 3-4 years ago, people would have been like, bro, I wore that kind of baggy, not knowing that 2 years from now that shit was about to turn back up as
Bro.
far as oversized.
bro.
That's why one reason why I keep a lot of like some of the shit I have. Like I still have a
That makes
Julius
sense.
Erving jersey from high school.
I
That
think I
bitch
remember
was
that jersey.
4XL, bro. It's a Mitchell & Ness 4XL
I
hardwood
think
classic.
I remember that, Julius.
Bro, I
Erving
still
jersey.
fucking have that. Cause I'm like, man, it's gonna come back. I
It
still
might.
that's why
I
I still
hope
have
it
my
doesn't.
that's why I still have
That
that
jersey
Dennis,
era was whack.
bro. That's why I still have that Dennis Rodman champion class, the wax boy. That motherfucker's from like the 90s. Like I had that.
That
when
was
I
an
a kid.
authentic one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I had
why.
that from the 90s. I some reason wanted to keep it because I'm like, I don't know, something drew me to
But
keep
see,
it.
that Rodman jersey you can wear today though.
Bro,
That Julius Erving jersey you cannot.
I don't-
I mean, you can. But
I don't think so. Nah, because it's the Pelly Pel vibe and the Dipset is not really a thing anymore. But
with the Julius Erving, no, because
Yeah.
that Rodman jersey, I remember that Rodman
yeah.
jersey.
And
that
it's funny,
thing
I
was
didn't
little.
fit it as a kid. Now it's little. Now
That thing was little,
but
but it fitted though.
yeah,
it was fitted. It was good.
because
It was
it
good.
was from like when I was a kid. It was super oversized as a kid because I wore baggy clothes when I was younger.
Yeah.
So like I never could really wear it like that because I was like it doesn't really fit. But I just kept it, and then finally started growing up into it, and I started rocking that shit like right after college. It was the first time I put that bitch back on.
I do remember that because I was like, man, that 91's a little faded.
Yeah, so it was I got it in the 90s. It was already
I'm
over 10
surprised you
years
still.
old.
I'm surprised you still had it.
Yeah, that's the one. That's probably the oldest thing that I have that I've actually kept.
Like truly shocked.
Yeah, still have
You
it.
know what I'm saying? Based off
And
of
still
how,
wear it.
based off of how often you guys, you know what I'm saying, moved around a little bit.
Bro,
It's like, man,
that
is that's
motherfucker
the one
travels
thing
with
that
me.
made it.
Yeah, but it's not the one. There's a lot of things that made it over the course of the years, but that's the longest. That's literally
Okay.
20 something years old. That jersey's 20 something years old.
That's crazy.
Like I want to say 29 years old, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
oldest. It's as old as Dennis Rodman. It's old. But yeah, bro, like figuring this stuff out too, I think is gonna be like once we get comfortable, and this is what this is gonna take, you know what I mean? For us to figure out just like, you know, mic etiquette,
Right.
things like that we feel good about, making sure we're capturing, like we're not blocking ourselves, like the mic is in the right spot.
Right.
You feel me?
Yep.
And then
Yep.
I don't want the editing to be a problem for us. Hopefully we can just throw it together and just clip a couple.
Well, that's just what we're gonna have to do.
There got to be an AI for it. I just don't want to have to deal with the editing thing. I already get tired of doing that shit for my personal stuff. And I'm a
It gets
creative on the
cumbersome.
sense, like it's fun to create certain things and edit certain things, but like when it comes to like we're not really editing, we're just splicing shit. It's not really just
right.
like,
We're just moving clips
yeah.
around.
We're not
throwing
really
in
doing
some
a lot of
music.
shit besides just clipping
Right.
this. It pops over here. That's like mundane.
Well,
for me.
I mean, we are though. If you think about it, it's just the software is making it exceptionally easy.
Yes,
We are
have
doing. We are
technology.
doing some pretty. Now we're not doing any like
extensive shit.
right like you know
Drop
stuff
frames.
that's doing shit that's beyond the scope of the software itself. Right, where you
Yeah.
have to have more professional software like Adobe, you know, Premiere Pro or Final Cut or whatever, you know, software is out there. But you know, because you got to figure like the stuff that we're doing on CapCut on a phone in 1980, you would need an entire room full of equipment.
You see from the Genius documentary where he did the Wire video, that was in like
Yes.
a fucking like it was a dinosaur like room, bro, with the fatback TVs. They were doing
Oh,
that
yeah.
shit live. I remember like editing just my highlight video for football
Oh,
at AV class, bro, and it was just from transferring to VCR to DVD was ridiculously like I had to do that shit over the course of weeks.
yeah, I'm sure
Not
you
gonna do
did.
that shit in 30
Oh
seconds.
yeah, easy. Click.
Yeah, Huddle, all those other softwares allow you to
wild.
do it quick.
Wild.
So I think we can leverage probably some tools to do it. Because we just have to really put the audio over it to make it
Make
align,
yeah,
and
make
that's
sure it
really it.
matches. Yep.
But I think that's gonna be like, you know, the actual work of it. When we do this type of stuff, this is the actual fun part, you know.
Yep. Right.
So I'm just excited for the conversations that we get into, like the route we take it. I'm hella excited for the fucking that logo banner.
Oh man,
That shit about to get me going, bro.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Hopefully, the caricatures are done by this weekend, so we can add them to the.
Yep.
Or send them to her, but she said she can't start until the 23rd anyway, right?
No, she said she'll have us something by the 23rd.
Oh, okay. So when did she say we needed to get her the? Because I know she said she kind of works weekends, but she doesn't really.
Yeah, she said she does if she doesn't have to get up like too early or something like that. But
okay.
Yeah, the sooner we get her the caricatures, the better. Now, from my understanding, she said she'll have us something by the 23rd.
That might be right then.
Yeah,
that might be right.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'm gonna be on them about
next Thursday or something.
But we're excited for you guys to tap in with those. That's just gonna be hard.
Yeah, we
were really geeked about that one.
Yeah.
And really, I think we should when we do start doing our recordings, I think since you're gonna be going next week, right? We're gonna start on Thursday or Friday.
It'll be Friday.
We're gonna do Friday, Saturday, and those are gonna be true episodes. And I think we can really break down like what Humanity Last Hopes like really
what we feel right, what what we want it, what we feel like it stands for, and what Humanity's Last Hope stands for us.
Yeah.
And then what we feel like it'll embody for everyone else too. Like, okay, look, this is we're Humanity's Last Hope.
Why the name?
Talking about us.
Yeah.
Us as in you, me, him, her, everyone.
We're you.
Right.
And I really like that you came with it, because like being able to like allow that to like carry into this podcast, as far as like us being the same person as the people that we're talking to, is going to be very relatable.
Well, it's just congruent across everything that we do, from AK to our personal brands to the podcast to how we treat other people, like what we do in our personal lives,
what we expect from ourselves.
Exactly.
It's very aligned.
It's consistent. Right.
It's
consistent. So, just excited to be doing this, man, and excited to be working with you, obviously, because I mean, like, the timing was perfect.
You couldn't have timed it better, bro.
There was the timing was really exceptional, because we were both looking for the same thing at the same time.
Yeah. My layoff, you wanting to kind of pursue your personal brand.
Right.
It was just like the alignment was there.
And then the alignment was there. And then not only that, wanting to build something together.
Oh, mutually though.
Right.
Because it wasn't a situation where we proposed it to one or the other. It just kind of like mutually aligned.
It just kind of like again, it was a timing thing.
It was divine.
It was a timing thing at that point too. Because I was like, man, you know what? Like, what's more important to me at this point in my life? What's most important to me? And, it was establishing, building the skills, that's the most important thing in my life always, is learning new things and building skills. That's, my life revolves around that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, truly creating something from scratch. You know what I'm saying?
From the fucking mud and forming it up into the Taj Mahal or whatever beautiful work of art you can think of.
Exactly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Creation. Like, this is like the reason why this is here now is because the blood, sweat, tears, effort, resource, everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I dumped everything into this. So that's something I wanted to do too, because, the business that I bought an existing business.
Like an existing name or existing like
an existing
company.
name, exactly. So, and I built it up from there, but so it was I wanted to like
something of your own.
Exactly. Like, I'm built, this is somebody else's dream.
Yeah.
Like, the shoe game, like, I love it. Don't get me wrong. It's afforded me so many luxuries and so much time.
Yeah.
And it's supported my lifestyle, and I'm like truly an entrepreneur at this point.
Facts.
Truly.
Like, really on the biz, like not an entrepreneur, but like a real businessman. Like, you run a business. Right. Entrepreneur, I think, is this next phase of your life.
True.
You're like a real like, you're the motherfucker that like, yeah, this is an established business, but you ran it, you created it in you you've revised it in the location, able to bring
Revitalized
social,
it, right.
bringing social current tools to your disposal
Yes.
to build it up into like you're a real ass businessman, bro. This next level for you is true entrepreneur because that's already done.
Right.
Now, I think entrepreneur becomes an entrepreneur once they get that second,
Yes.
right? That
Yes.
second path.
It's the second one.
It's the second path that I feel like officially stamps like
That's funny because I feel the same
you
way.
right.
I feel the same way.
Because you like a businessman is a person that has a business that runs a business, right? Entrepreneur has multiple.
I think an entrepreneur has multiple
streams,
successful ones.
Successful ones.
I think that's the most important thing there because you can have multiple, multiple failings and with no, okay, fine, you're just you're a failed entrepreneur at that point. I think if you don't continue,
if you
if you stop, then you're a failed entrepreneur. But and don't get me wrong, like I've had a lot of mishaps.
Yeah.
But what you said, Aaron, like yes, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, your body of work.
Yes, and it's for a lack of a better term, it's not the new thing right now, but it's the like
it is.
It's like the almost the holy grail for our current generation. Like people want to have their own shit, but a lot of people don't take any action towards it. And that's why I think like we're gonna be doing a lot of like shifting mindsets. Because what the fuck is really your biggest excuse? I feel like our first episode should be on self-awareness. Wholeheartedly. I'm super passionate about that topic because that shifted my whole.
I'm on board with that.
That shifted my whole movement.
Yeah.
For me personally. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think it's one of the most crucial aspects of being a human being.
Yeah. And it's almost the first vital thing that you need to get to anything else that you want to attain in life. Anything else. Like if you don't even think you're capable, if you're not even aware of your ability, like it's never even going to be a thought. You know what I'm saying? So self-awareness is like
the unknown unknowns.
Yeah, it's the spark that really initiates the shit. And given that, you know what I'm saying, you're us in the sense like that we're all the same species, bro. We're all capable of the same shit. Now, how we mold ourselves and how we, build our brain, our bodies, and our health and shit like that varies. Some people prefer other lifestyles than other people, and I'm sometimes some of those people. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what it is, feel me? So, but I have to be self-aware enough to know, like, if I'm not actually getting there, I know why.
Yep.
I fucking know what it is. I know what it is, and it's not gonna be no bullshit ass. Oh, my hip, or I have a bad memory, or you know what I'm saying, like I'm insecure, I second guess shit, or I don't have consistency. It's none of that surface level shit. Mm-hmm. Going through therapy has really got me like in the weeds with it. It's truly something in you that you don't think you deserve out of it, or you don't truly believe you deserve. And that's almost like an oxymoron. Like you might not think you don't deserve it, but you don't believe you deserve it. Mm. Like, do you truly, like, if I truly believe that I deserve all of these real estate assets and this, that, and the third, then what truly stopping me?
None.
What's stopping me is like, I don't truly think I'm capable of doing it. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like there's something in me that's holding me back. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's like, I have to get real with myself. And that self-awareness it'll make you look yourself in the face like, damn, bro.
When did that first become a realization for you that, okay, the reason why I don't have X, Y, and Z is because, as you put it, your self-awareness. When was that? What was the turning point for you where you realized, okay, I need to, the reason why I don't have this? Because it had to have been a light bulb moment where you're just like, what was the situation where you're like, oh shit, I didn't get this because it was my fault?
So it's funny that you say it's not just one moment.
Okay.
This shit happens like.
But what was can you pinpoint like the straw that broke the camel's back?
Yeah,
and if you can't, then give me a couple examples.
So I'm because the reason I don't want to like minimize the the ability of this, because it's not just a one-time shift. Because if you think it's a one-time shift, then that means I only have to do it that once and it's just going to come. It occurs in all areas of my life that I feel there's a block, or there's some resistance. You know what I'm saying? For example, I would say for me personally, I would say the point that kind of really opened my eyes was football initially. Like, I realized after college, after going through football, that the reason I didn't get to the next level is because I put my opportunity in other people's hands. And I wasn't self-aware at the time or knowledgeable of my capability of going to like a UCLA for a semester, walk on, because I came from a poverty mindset. Like, I can't afford that shit. That's a lot of debt. You know what I mean? I didn't feel that, because even if it's a lot of debt, if I truly was self-aware and had that, like, standing on my business about like who I am as an athlete, that wouldn't have mattered. Because I would have risked
because
it.
you would have known.
I would have known what's at the end of that. You know what I mean? And so,
because you had the grades.
Yeah, the grades weren't an issue. It was more so the money. And I had let that poverty mindset control like where I went. I have to have a scholarship. You know what I'm saying? You know, my dad was in my ear, well, like, this is where the scholarship's at. Like, we can't really get you. You know what I'm saying? And so I allowed that to be my reality, right? And so if I would have walked on in you could have walked on. I still was at a D1 school, but if a D1A, like, you know, class BCS,
we're talking
FBS team,
we're talking big power conference,
yeah, power team. Like, I know for a fact I would have got more, 10 times more eyes, because I still went to a smaller school, but I could compete with them.
Probably would have ended up getting drafted.
But I could compete with them.
Yeah, so you probably would have got drafted.
Yeah, I was insecure about that money thing, and I allowed that to dictate. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew I didn't want to go, but I knew if I did go to college, it was going to be for football, and I wasn't like going to go for academics, because I didn't care that much about. I had good grades. I had AP classes, but I didn't care that much about academics.
Once you got to college,
no, before, like, I didn't care like that. Like, I wasn't into it. It didn't make me feel good. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get the same vibes that we get when we're like brainstorming and shit. Like, I never got those feelings when I was playing football. Like, I never got that same high from academics. So my thing, this is why I say, like, your superpower is learning, bro, because you get that kind of that quality, that high from that. You know what I'm saying? That makes you feel fulfilled. Me, it didn't at the time. Like, and so I never tied academics to something that I wanted to pursue, because, and this is just my perspective. This isn't just like a school is terrible thing. It's just because I didn't see the immediate value in it. I personally, because I was an immature mind, I wasn't self-aware, so like what I could be capable of, what I should be capable of outside of like the purview of my like childhood. You know what I'm saying? So when I got to the point where it was too late, you know, now I'm experiencing, like, you know what I'm saying, the coaches like where was all this support? You know what I'm saying? When we was getting y'all these wins, and you know what I'm saying, with like the teams is calling me saying that they ain't even got the films from y'all yet, like type shit. You know what I mean? So I realized like I should never put my livelihood in somebody else's hands. That made me like trigger at that point moving forward. Like, if there's any sort of like any situation where I give somebody a power over my situation, that's my fault for even putting myself in that position. And so that made me become more accountable to the shit that I was doing. And then slowly it started shifting in different areas. Like, that's why I said it happens at different times. That it didn't happen once when, you know, I was elevating other people over myself, or downplaying myself to elevate somebody else. And we had these conversations where I was having the imposter syndrome thing going on. Like, I could still talk somebody up without, you know what I'm saying, like elevating them over me. You know what I mean? There's ways of doing it. And when that shifted, when I started, like, even when I was doing it, the resistance was so strong to it, like coming back to me and like, nah, that dude, like, that's you, right? The resistance was so strong, it would like open me up to like, why am I doing that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I sound goofy as fuck for somebody to tell me like, nah, bro, like, and they don't even know me. You know what I mean? So that shifted, you know what I'm saying, made me more self-aware of like, you know, my confidence, who I am, what I carry and shit like that, what I bring. And then like a shift when it came to like real estate. Like it almost occurs throughout the journey. And that's what I'm saying, like with this stuff, like if you don't ever have those conversations, you don't ever have those experiences, you're never able to unlock that person that's really within you. You know what I mean? Because even as we sit here, we're literally a species or a being that we shed physically, and we grow and develop into a physically different person, visually, and physically, right? So why doesn't it work internally? It definitely does the same way. So we shift, and then those moments where we shift is where we become more self-aware of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like football, like for example, lifting weights, your body becomes more self-aware that you could lift that amount of weight. You couldn't lift that shit 2 years ago.
So let me ask you this. You know, you use the example, you know, becoming self-aware. So now you mentioned in high school, you didn't get that same sort of high from academics.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you feel like you have progressed, what occurred to make you feel that way? Is it learning now? Is it you doing performing an action? What
So for me, I would say like the shift came from understanding that I was taking everyone else's experience and making it my own.
Okay.
So seeing people go to school, seeing people not get good jobs, seeing people have hella debt from college, you know what I'm saying? Seeing like failed businesses and all this other stuff. Like I was taking everybody else's, like the 2008 market crash. I was taking that experience and just completely off, like writing off real estate. I wasn't that experienced. I mean, I was 18 when it happened, but I automatically wrote it off for the next couple of years. If I was self-aware of like the possibilities at that point in college, bro, like you don't have to pay your college loan back for 4 years while you're in college. Or for as long as you're in school until like, I think it's a year or two after you graduate till you get a job. Like I didn't have any college like tuition and loans. I could have got loans out, bought property. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't even have to pay it back. Like I could have been making money from the jump. No, like it would have accrued interest, but the money that I would have been, or cash flow I would have got, or the appreciation I would have got, would have completely killed that shit off. Like if I was aware, but I was taking everybody else's experience and making it my own. Yeah. And so once I realized that I actually have to like get that information myself, go through it myself, win, lose, draw, you know what I'm saying? Then I realized that like that's the only way I'm gonna actually awaken, or you know what I'm saying, be and understand. So this is something that I could do. This is something I just shouldn't touch or shouldn't deal with. And then that like, you know what I'm saying, playing with that allows me to go forward with a level of confidence that I feel is necessary. Because if you don't have the confidence, which comes from self-awareness, it's like it's gonna be a tough ass move. You're gonna be like, it's not gonna feel good. You know what I'm saying? Like with us doing this situation, like wholeheartedly want to jump in. Like I don't feel like I'm a great speaker, personally. That's an insecurity of mine. That's why I wanted to do it. So I'm like, fuck it. Like I'm not a great speaker. How do I improve that shit? Like I don't like, people aren't coming to see me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a public speaker. So like how I talk to people, yeah, but it's like I don't network as much out here because it's not as lively as it used to be. So it's like, well, how do I improve that? Like now we can have dialogue. You know what I'm saying? That allows me to work on that skill, communication, like that. Yep. You help me in a sense too, like where I have a big issue of like I'm stepping on, you know what I'm saying, whoever's talking, like, right, you're able to like, hold on, let me finish, like, you know what I'm saying, like, and that sticks. So this is allowing me to become more self-aware of like those insecurities, those faults, or whatever I might have or carry, so I can work on them, correct them, improve them, or if they don't matter to me, then just leave them alone. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot to be able to get to that level of shift, but now I'm in a period where like it's almost like vital to have to learn, and it's not necessarily academia, because it's not geography. It's not like Christopher Columbus shit doesn't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? Like false truths in textbooks and shit like that, but not telling the whole truth. That it's not doctrine that's just given to us. It's like go out and find what the actual answer is, and like figure out specifically why that was left out, or are they leaving something out? You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, we're just gonna be following along with whatever everybody else is following along with, like sheep.
It's interesting that you say that, because with, you know, self-awareness is accompanied by other things too,
Mm-hmm.
by other attributes. Like you're not just self-awareness and then you're sitting idle. You know, self-awareness is accompanied by the pursuit of a goal. So, I mean, if I think you become self-aware when you're chasing after something and you're chasing after it for so long, and when you don't get it, you ask yourself why, which is a deeply profound question. It is one of the most profound. Asking why will take you on a journey that will change everything about who you are. If you're asking yourself those questions, if you sit and ask yourself why, and you wait for the answer, I mean, you can really dissolve a lot of the blockage and a lot of the trauma just by asking why, and then
So simple.
And then making friends with it. Like, okay, when it comes up, when you know why, you got to lean into it. Mm-hmm. So I think being self-aware comes with discipline. You have to be disciplined too.
No, I think self-aware allows you to be disciplined.
It's like a chicken or the egg discussion, So
some people aren't disciplined, but then become self-aware.
Because
then become disciplined.
I think those who are disciplined
becomes like self-aware pretty quick.
Or vice versa.
Right?
Because it's like, okay, you know what?
It is a chicken and that's
it's like, you know, which one comes first.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because like I said, they accompany each other.
One will precede the other.
Exactly. And that's the beautiful part about it, because, you know, those in a way are foundational skills. Like self-awareness and discipline are foundational skills that you can build other skills upon.
Yes.
Because if you're disciplined in one area of life, then you can be disciplined in the area of life where you need to learn something, or where you need to obtain something, or where you need to, train for something, like, training for a marathon, or, learning a new skill at work, or, learning an instrument, or doing anything. If you have discipline and effort, you are going to accomplish what you want to accomplish. There is no if, and, or buts about it. You will do it.
And so, bro, this is exactly why we want to do this podcast, bro.
I'm telling you.
And if we can get to this part of the conversation
right
a lot sooner, I think we have to figure that like special way out.
We do, but I don't think we necessarily have to. I mean, I think it's it's one of those situations where, like, if we try to speed up the process, it may not be the same.
It's not going to be the same.
It may not be the same.
Usually faster is not always the right answer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And we have time. Yeah. We have time to build, we have time to,
I think more times we do this because we don't do, honestly, since we've started, we've probably done this like consistently the last 3 weeks. I would say consistent because we've been actually meeting for other business stuff.
Yep.
And I think by like you said, that 18-month mark, shit about to be
going. Oh, it's about to be jumping. I have no doubt about it. I've absolutely.
Yeah, it's about to be going crazy. And that's where I feel
the beautiful part about this is because I don't know if you check out my stories every morning, but
yeah, I tap in. I'm not up that early though. I tap in when I wake up.
I got you. But because I've been struggling with, okay, you know what? I really need to stop posting these to my story, and I need to record myself saying this shit. Like,
it's gonna hit different.
It's gonna hit way different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think this is with the video podcast and the podcast itself.
Yeah.
It's like, when we've talked about this before, it's a content machine.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it is a content.
And that's an area I'm similar to you in. I'm not comfortable as fuck like talking in front of a camera.
I am. It's just
you're natural at it. I would say this. You're natural. You just don't give yourself as much credit for how good you are at it.
I don't, because I'm super self-critical. Yeah. But here's the thing, and I was thinking of this the other day. I'm just not super confident in this area of it yet.
Yeah.
Like, if you go check out you go to our business page, my business page, You know what I'm saying?
Get
I
a
sound
custom
like
shoe fit.
exactly,
I bet you your shoes don't fit because you bought them online.
exactly. You know what
Come
I'm saying?
down,
Like
get your arch assessment done. I'm like,
bingo.
what the fuck is an arch assessment? Nigga? Like,
Right, but you see what I'm
but
saying?
you said
though.
it so like, damn, I
Right.
should have known that. Like, I was supposed to know what an arch assessment was. How do I not know this? You said it
But
confidently.
exactly, but you see
Yeah.
what I'm saying though. And
Yeah.
so that that will eventually spill over. You know,
It's like anything else with like us babbling as kids. Like, we eventually form words.
exactly. And I think because we're adults now, we feel like everything has to be in a we're like in a race. It's like, man, you know what? We're all gonna die.
I gotta say it right now, right now, right now, right now, right now.
You know what I'm saying? We're all gonna return to dust.
Yeah, we're on a race to the dust.
You know, and it's just like, man, you know, and when I took the 67 steps, Ty Lopez, shout out to Ty Lopez, man. That's a smart dude right there. And I don't know why he gets a lot of hate online for some reason. It's strange.
Because of the shit he does.
Ty Lopez?
Like the post, like, because people are starting to catch on to that. He started that whole, like, you know, record yourself in front of a Lamborghini.
Uh-huh.
Don't talk about the Lamborghini really, but if you do, talk about the books behind the Lamborghini. Like, you know, the member I was telling you, like, eventually at the point of our podcast, like,
Yes.
we have enough funds, we're gonna do that type of layers. You know what I'm saying? So, but we're not gonna be talking in front of like a person, a Lamborghini, but we're gonna like.
There's gonna
We're
be
not going
something
to drop
in
it.
there.
We're not going to drop it until we actually have something. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
but I
Put
got
together.
you.
But you
Yes.
already know what I'm talking
Yes,
about.
yes.
So, like, he does that, and a lot of people caught on to it, and a lot of people do that type of content. But there's a lot of like, and this is one thing too that I think we're going to actually have like another topic. So we're going to be self-awareness, and then I think another topic, if we don't get to it that day, I would say would be a good one is like, I don't know how to put it, but if you're doing good, they're gonna hate. If you're doing bad, they're gonna hate.
Right.
It's really at this point, and I got Rem to a space where she cares a lot less now. Like, bro, I don't care. Like, literally, people hate this, that,
That's a
third.
superpower.
I literally I won't respond, like, because a lot of people have time. A lot of people want to, you know what I'm saying, that sparks them up, or they want to respond. They feel some type of way. But I'm like, to me, it's like, damn, like, I'm not about to give this motherfucker my energy. But what I am about to do is finish editing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Put the energy towards something that's very valuable for me. And it is a superpower because a lot of people feel certain ways, but that's where self-awareness becomes a thing. Like, I'm so confident in myself, nobody's going to be able to tell me, like, some shit that I can't tell myself. You know what I mean? And if I could tell myself, another motherfucker saying it is not going to really bother me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I feel we're going to get to that point where pretty much like he's doing good, he's being successful, he's showing women, he's doing da-da-da.
You know what I
and
think
so they
would
probably
be
hating on that.
You know what I think
what
would
it
be
is.
valuable is if one day you sat and deconstructed that thought process, right?
What thought
So
process?
your end result of what you just mentioned, one, you not giving a fuck. Two, that how is somebody going to tell you something when you like you're going to tell it, you're going to say it to yourself, right? So it's like, no, I'm going to say it to myself.
Yeah.
Like if I can tell myself, like I'll tell myself this.
Yeah.
Like, what does it matter that you tell this to me? If you can deconstruct that thought process, that framework, and distill it down into actionable steps, right? So like, you know, the beginning, right? You just reverse engineer that entire thought process and distill it down and give that to people, bro, because that's what people are looking for. People want to not give a fuck.
That's actually a really good idea. And you know what I just came up with? Bro, this is why I fuck with you, bro. I feed off of this. Oh, I fucking feed off of it. So,
And like I said, that's a superpower.
my nigga, we in within our realm of what we drop, miniseries, right?
Oh, shit, yeah.
Like, in a sense of like, because I've noticed a lot of podcasts that do little Market Monday vibe or like something that's like a 10, 15 minute joint. Not a clip of another podcast, but just, hey, this shit just came to me. I think we should have a chat about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, as long as we're conscious enough to not feel we have to keep talking about something, we can make it work. So like a 10 minute, 15 minute, not a real length one, 10, 15 minute like conversation about some shit like that. Like deconstruct like the process. Like, let's talk about it. Boom. That's not an hour long conversation. That's not a 45 minute. We can make that a 10, 15 minute conversation.
We can make it as long as
Hey, in 15 minutes.
And then if people
Let's-
love that shit,
I think that'll be a good
Then you
ass
can
idea.
expand
That's
on
a
it.
really good idea. And this is where you put the right people proximity, you know what I'm saying, is progression is in proximity, right? I think that's how the saying goes. I'm probably fucking it up.
We know what we're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
something with
you
proximity
said it right
progression.
before.
I
You
know.
said it differently before.
Bruh.
Anyway.
This is gonna happen a lot, by the way. So maybe one of y'all motherfuckers can comment if we release this shit. but there's power. Oh, power and proximity. That's what the fuck I'm saying.
Gotcha.
There's power and proximity, and the reason there is because, like, again, when you're just in here with your own shit or the same people, if you're not able to like communicate and mesh with other people, sometimes like people are able to get real creative with their own. Like, there's 5 motherfuckers in there they can deal with.
Oh, bro.
That's like able to expand on some shit, like deep focus type of thing. Me, I work different. My thing is, like, you put me around 3-4 motherfuckers, we might end up having 2 to 4 businesses out of that shit, and 3-5 relationships that we can leverage to go do something that's going to benefit somebody or have a good, you know what I mean? Like, that's where I feel like my superpower exists. Like, some people can get introspective with that shit and really go deep and like come up with some crazy shit. Me, I can wholeheartedly say that's not like, and that honestly, and that's it's almost a preference for me personally, because I enjoy building with others, and we talked about this prior, and just this moment right here, I'm thinking like that's a good idea. So like we can include those little mini series in between some of the episodes if we want to do a quick little, you know what I'm saying, chat about a topic and just get it out there on the ether, because I do want to be able to allow this to be kind of our journal.
Man, I'm on board with that.
Because when you talked about the journal, when you and the graphic designer was talking about that whole journal thing, I'm thinking like, I hate writing though, but I love getting it out through writing certain things. I actually like how I feel after. You know what I'm saying? And remember when I was telling you I was doing the video journaling and stuff?
Yeah.
That, I love speaking it. That overcast everything else, because that allows me to feel like I was actually able to address something that is not sitting in a pad or sitting in my hand or sitting in my thoughts. So I think this is going to be kind of our journal to life. You know what I mean?
I think it's going to be.
That could be the description.
Ooh.
Aaron and Dorian's journal to life. You know what I'm saying? Because it's really, that's what it is.
Ooh.
You feel me? Let's get it. Hold on. We still get used to these motherfuckers. Like, we was acting like, hey,
right.
And you know like the straws and the sippy cups that you have to get down to. We was acting like we was in a chokehold with these mics.
Like, oh shit, I can't touch the mic.
Oh shit,
get out of here, Mike.
But I think the mics are high quality enough to where if we move them around too, it doesn't make noise. And this shit is almost solid.
Yeah, because it's
actually,
on this.
let's go ahead and get that a test real quick in case we ever bump it. Go ahead and say something to yours and see if that.
Testing.
Yeah, test.
It'll take it. It'll pick up some sound, but yeah,
but nothing ambient really. But yeah, so I think, you know what I'm saying, we could wrap up.
All right, well, this was the test run of Humanity's Last Hope. We may post this as an episode, in hell. We might not, but but either way.
Hell, we might not.
But either way, I feel good about it, and I think you guys are gonna feel good about it too. And if you don't get value from this, we did.
That's what I think. That's how we should always do, because we came up with that the first thing.
You did. I was fired. Was fired.
I don't know where that came from. That shit was out the blue.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you.
Let's get off this motherfucker before we get into another episode.